Okay, good morning, all of you. So in the last class, we were already doing that particular hire purchase and installment sale chapter, and after doing that complete repossession part, I have already entered that partial repossession portion 2. So today is about the second class of that partial repossession. ওকে, সো আজকে পার্শিয়াল রিপোজিশনটাই আরও একটা সাম করিয়ে দেখাবো, ঠিক আছে। বাট এটাতে একটা অন্য জিনিস আছে, সামটা একটু মানে একটা এক্সট্রা জিনিস আছে, অন্য জিনিস না, একটা এক্সট্রা জিনিস আছে। নাও আই এম শেয়ারিং দ্য স্ক্রিন। ও বাই দ্য ওয়ে, এটা বলতে ভুলে গেছি, আজ আইটি ক্লাস ছিল, আইটি ক্লাসটা নেবো না। আইটি অলমোস্ট এন্ডের দিকে, ঠিক আছে। আফটার পূজা পরে দেখা যাবে কখন কী হবে। ওকে, সো এখন আমরা অ্যাকাউন্টসটার উপরই বেশি করে ক্লাস নেবো মোটামুটি। Okay, now just see the first read out the sum. Seema Agency purchased 3 trucks from Vishal Automobile Limited on 1st January 1995 under hire purchase agreement. So the 3 trucks have been purchased and Seema Agency is the hire purchaser, Vishal Automobile Limited is the hire vendor. The cash price of the each truck is 1,50,000. Okay, cash price of each truck is 1,50,000. So the cash price is given 1,50,000 each. So if you multiply it into 3, 4,50,000 will be the total cash price, and also that particular cash 1,50,000 is the being the cash price. So the cash price is given, so you need to no need to calculate that particular cash price. According to the terms and conditions of the Vishal Automobile Limited, 10% of the cash price is to be paid on delivery, and the balance of cash price in 3 equal yearly installment payable at the end of each year, together with interest at the rate 10% per annum. Okay, so if I do that, like 1,50,000 have been the cash price of one truck. Just consider one truck and you can easily calculate about the 3 truck. 1,50,000 out of which 10% is the paid on delivery, so 10% is the down payment. So if I deduct 1,50,000, 1,50,000 into 10%, it is 15,000. 1,50,000 minus 15, so 1,35,000 is the total value of the installment, or you can say that principal value of the installment. If I divide it by 3, it will be 1,35,000 divided by 3. It will be 45,000, I guess. 45,000 করে মোটামুটি পড়ছে, ঠিক আছে। 45,000 for the each installment, each truck. Now it is said that interest is 10%. Okay, fine, no problem in that. Seema Agency means the hire purchaser. Actually, hire purchaser write off 20% depreciation on straight line method. Seema Agency paid first and second installment but in due time, but failed to pay the last installment due on 31st December 1997. Okay, so the hire purchaser charged 20% depreciation on a straight line basis. Okay, and after paying the 2 installment, first and the second installment, they can't pay the third installment due on 31st December 1997. 31st December 1997 में जो installment pay करना था वो installment miss कर गया. Okay, as a result, what happens? They look at that. Vishal Automobile Limited agreed to leave 2 truck with Seema Agency and take back the third one. Okay, so they Seema Agency bought 3 truck, out of which 2 truck will be remains with them and 1 truck will be repossessed by the Vishal Automobile, or the hire vendor is repossessing 1 truck out of the 3 truck. But the return truck being valued at the rate 30% depreciation diminishing balance method. Okay, so the hire purchaser is charging 20% depreciation straight line method, and but the hire vendor is charging 30% depreciation diminishing balance method. So there is also a alteration in the rate, and there is also an alteration in the method. Okay, hire purchaser 20% depreciation straight line e charge করে, আর hire vendor 30% depreciation diminishing e charge করে. So there must be some difference in value. এবার as per the last day's class, I have already mentioned that particular thing, that that difference is being actually the loss on repossession. Now Vishal Automobile Limited sold the repossessed stock for rupees 45,000 in cash on 7 January 1998 after incurring repairing expenses of rupees 8,000. Okay, this is a new one. The hire vendor is selling the repossessed truck for rupees 45,000 in cash in the next year, that is the 7 January 1998, after the incurring repairing expenditure of 8,000. Now show truck account, Vishal Automobile account in the books of Sima Agency, this is the normal one, and repossessed truck account in the books of the Vishal Automobile Limited to give effect the above transaction. This is the new one. Okay, you have to show the repossessed truck account in the books of the Vishal Automobile. Normally in this very chapter we are preparing account in the books of the hire purchaser, okay, only. Okay, but this is a new one where you have to show the repossessed truck account in the books of the hire vendor. Okay, the first time I am entering into the books of the hire vendor. Okay, till now we are always considering upon the in the books of the hire purchaser, but this is the new one in the books of the hire vendor. Okay, so we'll start with the sum. তাহলে দুটো অ্যাকাউন্ট নর্মালি ওকে, অ্যান্ড লাস্ট ওয়ান, দিস লাস্ট অ্যাকাউন্ট উইল বি প্রিপেয়ার সেপারেটলি, এটার সঙ্গে এটা কোনো সম্পর্ক নেই, ওটা পরে দেখা যাবে, ঠিক আছে। সো ফার্স্ট ইউ নিড টু প্রিপেয়ার টু অ্যাকাউন্ট ইন দ্য বুকস অফ দ্য সিমা এজেন্সি। ফার্স্ট ওয়ান ইজ দ্য অ্যাসেট অ্যাকাউন্ট অ্যান্ড সেকেন্ড ওয়ান ইজ দ্য Vishal Automobile Limited account, that is the hire vendor account. Okay, what is the first journal entry? First journal entry is obviously about the cash price. Okay, so the journal entry will be the hire asset account debit to hire vendor account. Okay, so journal entry is truck account debit to Vishal Automobile Limited account. Look at that, on 1195 truck account debit to Vishal Automobile Limited account. It is the cash price 1,50,000 into 3 trucks, so it will be 4,50,000. Now on 31/12/95 it will be depreciation charge at the rate 20%. What I have mentioned, straight line, hire purchaser straight line e charge kore, hire vendor diminishing e charge kore. So by depreciation 4,50,000 into 20%, it will be 90,000. So the closing balance came as 3,60,000. Okay, and just go on to the hire vendor account. In the hire vendor account it will be by truck, cash price 3 of the 3 truck is 4,50,000. Now just see that you have to make the down payment. Okay, down payment is how much? Down payment they have mentioned 10% on each truck. Okay, so it will be 1,50,000 into 10%, so 15,000 into 3, so it will be 45,000. And you have to charge interest on that. Interest will be charged on the balancing figure, that means 4,50,000 is the cash price, 45,000 you have already paid. So what is the balance due? The balance due is your 4,05,000, out of which you have to charge interest at the rate 10%, so it will be 40,500. Okay, now after charging interest you need to pay the installment at the end of the year. Okay, just recap of the process. Okay, process में हम लोग ये लास्ट क्लास में ही बताए थे की करते हैं. Okay, फर्स्ट एसेट कैश प्राइस, ओके कैश प्राइसটা পুট করতে হয়, সেকেন্ড ডাউন পেমেন্ট পুট করতে হয়, থার্ড ডেপ্রিসিয়েশন আর ইন্টারেস্ট ক্যালকুলেট করতে হয়, ফোর্থ ইনস্টলমেন্ট পে করতে হয়. ওকে, এই তো চারটে স্টেপ, ঠিক আছে, মনে রাখলেই হয়ে যাবে. সো উই হ্যাভ অলরেডি ক্যালকুলেটেড দ্য ইন্টারেস্ট. নাও দ্য নেক্সট থিং ইজ দ্যাট ইউ হ্যাভ টু পে দ্য ইনস্টলমেন্ট, দ্যাট ইজ দ্য ফার্স্ট ইনস্টলমেন্ট. So again on 31/12/1995 it will be to bank account first installment. Now where from you getting that particular amount? Just look at that. 1,50,000 is the cash price of the one truck, out of which you have already paid 10%. So what is the remaining balance? Remaining balance is the 90%. So if I multiply 1,50,000 into 90%, 1,35,000 is the balance due. This is for total balance due, and this is to be paid on 3 equal installments, so divided by 3. So each installment value is rupees 45,000. এটা আমি আগেই ক্যালকুলেট করে বলেছিলাম, ঠিক আছে। নাও for the 3 trucks it will be 45,000 into 3. তিনটে ট্রাকের জন্য কত হবে? 45,000 into 3, 1,35,000. This is the principal value, so you need to add the interest down there. Okay, so 1,35,000 plus 40,500, 1,75,500 is the value of first installment. Okay, so the remaining is the balance CD. The balance CD is 2,70,000. Okay, so your first year is completed. Okay, again I am repeating that first installment को फिर से बता दे रहे हैं, ठीक है। 1,50,000 कैश प्राइस था एक ट्रक का, उसका 10% पे ऑफ हो गया, तो ड्यू कितना है 90%, सो 1,50,000 के ऊपर 90% आ रहा है 1,35,000, ये 3 इंस्टॉलमेंट में तुम्हें देना पड़ेगा। सो डिवाइडेड बाई 3, एक इंस्टॉलमेंट का आ जाएगा, एक इंस्टॉलमेंट का आया तुम्हारा 45, कितना ट्रक है 3 ट्रक है, सो इंटू 3 टोटल अमाउंट आ गया, और टोटल इंटरेस्ट कितना आया था मेरा, टोटल इंटरेस्ट आया था 40,500, सो 1,35,000 plus 40,500, 1,75,500. So what is your balance CD? Balance CD is your 2,70,000, and this balance CD is to be transferred here. So by balance BD 2,70,000 finished. Obviously the first year. Now come to the second year. Now second year onwards the process is what? Second year onwards the process is you have to charge in the depreciation and interest, and thereafter you have to pay the installment. Okay, so come to that. Charge the depreciation. Okay, the depreciation is straight line method they are following, so same amount will be followed. Don't actually, I have calculated it, but there is no need to calculate because they have mentioned it is a straight line method. So by depreciation 90,000, so your balance it is 2,70,000 for 9/31/12/1996. so on 1/1/97 the balance is 2,70,000. Now come to the hire vendor account. In hire vendor account you have to charge interest. Interest is 2,70,000 के ऊपर ही 10% होगा, 2,70,000 into 10%, 27,000. Done. Now again you have to pay the second installment. Now as for the second installment, you already knew the principal value of the installment. Principal value of the installment is nothing but the 1,35,000. Okay, यही प्रोसेस बार बार तो करने की कोई ज़रूरत नहीं। एक इंस्टॉलमेंट का वैल्यू आ गया तुम्हारा 45, तो 3 ट्रक के लिए आ जाएगा तुम्हारा 45,000 into 3, 1,35,000. You have already calculated it, so don't need to calculate again. Okay, just there is a alteration in the interest. Obviously interest alter होगा each and every year में, ठीक है। So 40,500 is the interest, but you have to charge 27 down there, so 1,35,000 plus 27,000, 1,62, sorry, 1,62 is the second installment value. So what is the balance CD? The balance CD is 1,35,000. Okay, now put that opening balance 1,197, 1,35,000. Now for the last year, or rather the year of the repossession, okay, process is again same. You have to charge depreciation, you have to charge interest. Okay, so I have calculated the interest. Look at that, I have calculated interest 31/12/97. Why interest? 1,35,000 into 10%, 13,500. And you have to charge depreciation. Again the depreciation is 90,000. Okay, so by depreciation 90,000, so you have already posted it. Now at the time of paying the installment you can't pay it. Okay, so as a result the repossession occurs. So whenever the repossession occurs, what I have told you, the process is you have to calculate the value of the asset repossessed on the basis of the hire purchaser and on the basis of the hire vendor. Okay, if there any differences occurs, that particular will be considered as a loss on repossession or profit on repossession. Profit on repossession কোনো জন্মে হয় না, ঠিক আছে, যা হবে ওই loss on repossession ই হবে, because generally the hire vendor charges higher rate of depreciation actually. Okay, so we need to calculate what is the difference in the value. Okay, and again I am repeating, দুটো ভ্যালু কি করে ক্যালকুলেট হবে? First you calculate the value of asset repossessed on the basis of the hire purchaser, and another one is on the basis of the hire vendor, then the difference. Okay, so the first workings, value of one truck repossessed as per hire purchaser, in bracket write down Seema agency. Okay, bracket why I have written it, because this is the hire purchaser, so hire purchaser এর নামটা আমি মেনশন করে দিলাম। Now whenever you are considering the hire purchaser, come to that particular account, that is a truck account. What is the opening balance? Opening balance is 2,70,000. What of the depreciation you have charged? You have charged depreciation 90,000. So what is the remaining balance? The remaining balance is actually 1,80,000, which is for 3 truck. For 1 truck it will be 60,000. So 2,70,000 minus 90 divided by 3, it will be 60,000. Okay, so value of 1 truck repossessed, the value is 60,000. Done. So as per the hire purchaser, যে hire purchaser ছিল तार हिसेबे वही ट्रकटार वैल्यू कत हवा उचित, तार हिसेबे उस ट्रक का वैल्यू होना चाहिए 60,000, ठीक है। उसका बुक वैल्यू से हम लोग उसको कैलकुलेट कर लिया। नेक्स्ट विल think upon that what will be the value as per the hire vendor के हिसाब से कितना वैल्यू है, बिकॉज हायर वेंडर चार्ज कर रहा था 30% डेप्रिसिएशन अंडर डिमिनिशिंग बैलेंस मेथड. ठीक है, हायर वेंडर चार्ज कर रहा है 30% डेप्रिसिएशन डिमिनिशिंग बैलेंस मेथड. ओके, स्टार्ट करते, देखो इसको भी कैलकुलेट करके दिखाएंगे. Okay, just look at that value of one truck repossessed as per hire vendor. So in bracket I have written the name of the hire vendor, that is the Vishal Automobile Limited. So the asset is remains for use for 3 years, so you have to charge the depreciation for that. So 1195 cash price is 1,50,000. 31,1295 less depreciation at the rate 30%, it will be 45,000. So minus deducting that we have 1,05,000. Now your written down value of 1196 is 1,05,000, upon which you have to charge depreciation 30% again. So 31,500 is the amount. So the remaining balance on 1197 is 73,500. Again just write down the deduct the depreciation at the rate 10%, so it will be 22,050. So what is the written down value of the truck repossessed is 51,450. Okay, it a easy calculations acha, I'm not going into that. It is simply 30% करके diminishing में charge करोगे आ जाएगा 51,400. But the thing is that ultimate conclusion तब क्या हुआ, as per the hire purchaser asset का value होना चाहिए 60,000, but as per the hire vendor asset का value आया 51,450. So obviously whenever the hire vendor is repossessing the asset, he will charge 51,450. Okay, he will charge 51,450, but as per the books of the hire purchaser the value is 60,000. So difference is actually the loss on repossession. Okay, so loss on repossession 60,000 minus 51,450, it is 8,550 is the loss on repossession, and this 51,450 will be transferred from the hire vendor account to the asset account. Look at that. So in the hire vendor account I have written in the hire vendor account I have written 31,1297 to truck account, value of truck repossessed 51,450. Okay, and this 51,450 is to be double posted down here. That is the by Vishal Automobile Limited, value of truck repossessed 51,450. Now charge the loss by profit and loss account. Loss on repossession you have already calculated it, 8,550. So what will be the balance CD? The balance CD will be 1,20,000, and here the balance CD is your 97,050. Okay, now what about that particular balance CD? We don't know about it because nothing is mentioned. Expected that in the next year or in the beginning of the next year the amount will be paid or something like this. Okay, but we don't need to we don't actually know what to do about that particular balance CD. Okay, and I've already mentioned in the last class there is a process of checking whether your sum is correct or not, because look at that, here the value of one truck is 60,000. Okay, so the true truck will be 1,20,000, and this 1,20,000 appears down there. It is the value balance of the two truck. Okay, so I can say that yes, my sum is correct. Okay, so you can check it by in this process. Okay, so 60,000 एक ट्रक का वैल्यू था एज पर हायर परचेजर, तो दो ट्रक का वैल्यू कितना होगा, obviously 1,20,000. दैट्स 1,20,000 is appearing on the closing as the closing balance of the asset account. Asset account का closing balance में 1,20,000 it is posted. Okay, so I can say that my sum is correct. So I have completed the first part, that is the show truck account and the Vishal Automobile Limited account in the books of the SIMA agency. Now what about the repossessed truck account in the books of the Vishal Automobile? Okay, so we need to prepare. Just look at that. In the books of the Vishal Automobile repossessed truck account. Okay, so it will be on the opening date, actually opening date of the next year, because repossession is done at the end, at the closing date of the 1997. So the balance will be carried forward to the first day of next year, that is the 1998. So 1/1/1998 to SIMA agency, the value of truck repossessed is nothing but 51,450. We all know because we have already calculated it. Look at that. What is the value of truck repossessed? 51,450. আমি কি বলেছিলাম, হায়ার ভেন্ডার যখন ট্রাকটা নিয়ে যাবে তখন কি ভ্যালুতে নিয়ে যাবে, the value will be 51,450. So I have written it. Okay, so to SIMA agency 51,450. Now upon which the Vishal Automobile have incurred some expenditure. Okay, আমি এটা দেখিয়েও দিই, তাহলে একটু বুঝতে সুবিধা হবে। Yeah, Vishal Automobile sold the repossessed truck for 45,000 in cash on 7 January 1998 after repairing expenses 8,000. So two bank account repairing expenses are charged. Just see that. এটা রিপেয়ারিং ও বলা যায়, ওভারহলিং ও বলা যায়, ঠিক আছে। টু ব্যাংক overhauling expenses or repairing expenses, whatever you write, it will be same. Okay, 8,000, and this particular thing is actually sold for rupees 45,000. Okay, so whatever the what is the actual value of the asset? Actual value of the asset is 51,450 plus 8,000, so it will be 59,450, and that 59,450 have been sold for rupees 45,000. So obviously we can say that the hire vendor is actually incurring a loss. Okay, so the loss is how much? So by profit and loss account, loss on sale, it will be the balancing figure. It একটা balancing figure বেরিয়েছে actually. So by profit and loss account, loss on sale, it is 14,450. So both side total 59,450. Okay, so this is the new inclusion actually. Okay, so this is the repossessed truck account. So this repossessed truck account is based on the value of the truck repossessed and some expenses the hire vendor might incur. Okay, so the total expenses is to be compared with the sale proceeds. Okay, whatever may be the difference, it will be either profit or loss. Okay, so loss on sale is your 14,450. So this is your end of actually repossession. Okay, repossession, I have done a complete repossession sum and two partial repossession sums. Okay, if I found any repossession sums which actually of good quality, then I will take class tomorrow. No, actually I will not take class tomorrow. Okay, আমার বোধহয় কালকে ক্লাস আছে কিনা জানি না, মনে নেই, যদি থাকে আমি নেবো না। Okay, so after puja your classes will start. Okay, now if you have any doubt, please tell me. किसी का कुछ डाउट है तो बताओ। किसी का कुछ डाउट है तो बताओ, उसके बाद बोल रहे हैं। Any doubt? Okay, I guess not. Okay, so I'm gonna stop sharing the screen.